Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders, and welcome to part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of September 26th through September 30th, where we'll select our individual stocks or individual tickers to put on our various swing trading stock watch lists for possibly trading next week. And we'll also talk about some trading strategies, some trading techniques, look at our shopping list, our bullpen, etc. So stick around, and then again, we'll have a lot to discuss. Welcome again, and good morning, Specula, Walter Lyons, David Spellfogel. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your name. Thank you for joining us on our live stream. Here's our notes for this week's weekly trading game plan. This is a Google document. Again, you can find this Google document in a Google Drive. It's publicly accessible, and there'll be a link in the description box below to this public folder where you can find our trading game plan. So again, and then it'll have the reference links, etc. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Making Money from the Fed Interest Rate Decision, we would highly recommend you also view that video, as that has our market analysis and all of our trading strategies for making money from the Fed interest rate decision, from rising interest rate environment, from going into a recession, etc. And we'll talk a little bit about that again today. Good morning, Nugem. Thank you also for joining us in the live stream today. So first, I'll just briefly talk about some of the trades we made last week. We talked about one of the strategies in part 1 that we're utilizing to generate additional revenue, particularly in the downturn while we wait for the markets to turn around again, is by selling covered calls against our existing positions. So this week we sold a couple covered calls. We sold one against our existing drip position. And so, we're using that to self-generate some dividends, some additional revenue on our existing positions. And our strategy, as we discussed yesterday, is we'll sell them when they go up, and then I'll buy them back if drip happens to come back down. Then I'll buy it back cheaper, keep the difference in the premium, and rinse and repeat, and keep doing it. Same thing with TMF. TMF ran up a little bit on the 21st. We sold some covered calls against our position in TMF, and same thing. If treasuries take a dip again and I can buy those back cheaper, I'll do it, rinse and repeat. So again, we talked yesterday about, treasuries, TLT, TMF, and we'll see in our Etf Spreadsheet, they may be bottoming and turning back up, and that would make sense given that the longer-term yield curve should recover somewhat. So we'll see. And in the meantime, again, I'll generate money by selling covered calls. So the only other new position we took this week, and we talked a little bit about REITs yesterday, is also a good strategy to generate a dividend that's higher than the bond rate and inflation rate. Is we like Realty Income. We went long Realty Income on the 23rd at 62.01. I'll show that in Webull in a second. We had that on our watch list. It was in our bullpen. We moved it up to our watch list when it started coming down, and we bought it on the 23rd when it took a dip. Again, it's a REIT, pays a nice monthly dividend. It does go ex-dividend on the 29th. So if you do want to get into you'll see in the chart there's still a good opportunity, and you could still get in before the ex-dividend date on the 29th. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to get in, is to collect this month's dividend, and then we'll swing that up and sell it when it peaks out. And you'll see that has a nice cyclical swing. Welcome, Pawn Trades. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you here as well. So I'll jump over to Webull, and we'll just look at for a second. So this is the short-term chart. You can see on the 23rd, it was sitting at this support level. It looked like 62. There was some support at 62. We bought it there. You can see it subsequently dipped with the rest of the market and then bounced back pretty good. If we look at a longer term chart on you can see how it tends to cycle around that 62 bottom bounced back up to about 74, almost 75. So again, that's been our strategy. We've done this swing trade several times before. In the meantime, we collect their monthly dividend. When it swings to a peak, we'll sell it, and then we'll wait for it to come back down. We'll buy it back again. So rinse and repeat. So this is a nice one. We really like. Pays a nice monthly dividend. Plus, you get this nice price appreciation by swinging through these cycles. So, and thank you, Spacula, for encouraging people to subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit the like button. Again, we really want to grow the community. I love seeing new people in our chats, interacting, helping each other out. It's great. So just a reminder too, if you want to get real-time alerts when we make these trades, be it selling covered calls or buying or selling individual stocks, we do alert those out to our Patreon members as soon as we can, and then those get posted or they get posted in our Discord. Again, our Discord is free to join, but only Patreon members have access to the alerts channels. And again, I will post these trade alerts as quickly as I can to the alerts channel, so you can see when we sold the covered calls. Also, if we get an automated alert from Thinkorswim, so you can see we got the price alert that it was at our target price, and we looked at it, said, yep, we want to buy it. So then I updated the Thinkorswim posting with our position in O. So we'll talk more about lessons learned towards the end, questions and answers. Now we'll look at our real-time watch list, and this again is the real-time watch list that we're watching real-time during the day. We have automation that runs against this watch list. You'll see I pretty much cleaned it up. When the market dumped towards the end of the week, a lot of things broke down through support. So we've culled a lot of the previous stocks from our watch list, and I'll just go through them quickly and we'll look at a few of them. Also, I've done some subsequent due diligence videos that as a bonus for participating in this weekly trading game plan. The links to these additional due diligence videos that haven't been published yet, they're still unlisted, but you can access them via the links in the notes in this Google document note. So a good example is ADES. You can see we're removing that from our watch list as it broke down through support. We'll take a quick look at that. I did do a due diligence, and part of that due diligence you'll hear was watching to see if it was going to hold that support level. It did not. It broke down, and therefore we removed it from our watch list. Now I do like, as you'll hear in this video, I do like the overall thesis behind ADES. It's trading below cash, so we'll wait for it to achieve a support level and hold a support before we get interested. So we also removed this China biopharma. Again, broke down through support to new all-time lows. We will talk about yin and yang. Spacula, I know, was asking about that yesterday, and we'll take a look at those. Same thing with the EURL. Europe broke down. A lot of these are breaking down to new 52-week lows. Cold's run up. Natural gas has plummeted recently, so we're not going to chase cold. We were looking for a new all-time high. Now cold and boil. Cold is the short on natural gas. Boil is the long on natural gas. Those are often great day trades, great momentum breakout trades. I know a number of our BeachBum trading community day trade, momentum trade, cold and boil, natural gas with cold and boil. So welcome, Michael Simon. Glad to see you here. Thank you for joining us. And Tanvir, thank you. Good to see you here again today. We talked about O, and we looked at the chart. Again, if you're interested in getting into O, I think there's still a good opportunity. We saw that dip on Friday. It bounced back. And again, if you get in before the 29th, you can still get this month's monthly dividend. After that, you would have to wait an additional month. We also took SATs off. Again, it broke through to support to new 52-week lows, as many stocks are doing. We do have a due diligence, same thing, kind of like the concept behind SATs, but it's just got to hold a support level. You'll see the only one we have remaining on our real-time watch list right at this moment is SOXL. I think I just saw Spacula say he was watching SOXL as well. And you'll see that it looks like there may be an opportunity. We'll talk about the thesis behind SOXL in a moment as well. Taking UVXY and VXX off because they both run up. Volatility spiked above 30. Again, momentum trades, day trades. You can trade volatility with these on any given day, make some good money. For a swing, again, since it's run up, we're not going to chase it at this point using the longs. Now, just FYI, I did put back in place my sizable order I have sitting on the short on the VIX, which is we use SVXY to short the VIX, and I restored my orders sitting at 4507, which is the last peak in the VIX. That's where SVXY bottomed last. So I've got that order sitting there. If they do spike the VIX at any point, those orders should catch. One of my favorite trades is shorting the VIX on those panic spikes. So just FYI, I'm not really watching it. I've got my order sitting there. If it happens to spike and catch, we'll make good money shorting the VIX back down. So again, an FYI, we review stocks on a daily basis. We look at our bullpen, as you'll see. If anything improves in terms of its setup, looks attractive, etc. As you'll see, we've added a bunch to the bullpen. If they become more attractive, we will move them up to put them in the game and move them up to our real-time watch list. And we update a web page that is accessible to our Patreon. So any changes to our watch list intra-week or even intra-day, we will update that web page. Our patrons can access that, and if I do make a change during the day, there's a channel in our Discord, and I'll post any intraday changes in the stocks watch list channel in our Discord. So you can see when I added Generac back on the 19th, that was during the day, so I updated that in the stock watch list channel. Again, our Patreon members have access to that channel. So if you're interested in real-time alerts, real-time updates during the week to our watch list, our Patreon members have access to all of that. So I'll jump over and look at our watch list in Webull. So again, nice feature of Webull is you can have all kinds of different watch lists. So we have our real-time watch list. Again, it's easy to maintain. So we commented that we're removing ADES. You can see the support line that I was looking for it to hold was around that 320. You'll hear about that in the due diligence video. It did not hold that 320 long-term support. And so since it's broken down through that long-term support, we're going to take it off the watch list. You can see it way back here is where it touched that 320 before. It's now broken through that. We'll see where it finds support again and maybe watch it in the future. Again, it's easy to maintain watch lists in Webull. I'll just right click, select delete. And again, this is the online browser version of Webull. Same thing with VXX. We'll see it's run way up with the VIX spiking up to 30. So we'll just take that one off. And we can see SOXL. SOXL is the long on semiconductors, and my thesis here is that the sentiment and all the bad news in semiconductors, I'm thinking might already be baked in. Now it still gets pressured down with technology stocks, with the Nasdaq, etc. So we're just waiting for it to hold a support level. It's making new lows. So once it holds some support level, turns back up, breaks the VWAP, we'd be interested in SOXL. So again, you can see it's at 52-week lows. So we're just waiting for a good support, good turn. Again, I think it's very oversold. The sentiment's very negative, and so good reversal opportunity, I think. So we'll see how it goes. So just a quick reminder is Webull is still offering their 12 free stocks. So if you're not already using Webull, it's our favorite trading platform. We do most of our trading in Webull. And again, you can get 12 free stocks. If you don't already have an account, just open an account, put $1 in or so, and you can get up to 12 free stocks. They can be worth up to $3,000. So again, a lot of features of Webull we like. Again, having all the different watch lists, the 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. trading. We find it easy to use. So we recommend Webull as a good trading platform. Ali, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again. Okay, now our bullpen is, for those of you that might not have been around in our community for a while, the concept of the bullpen stocks, and I kind of stole this from Kramer a long time ago, is a set of stocks that, we review at the end of the day and see if their setup has improved. And if so, then we put them in the game and we move them up to our real-time watch list. So we've got quite a few that look like, with the markets breaking down, they look like they might be coming down to an attractive level of value where we'd be interested in buying, but they're not quite there yet. So we'll, again, review them at the end of the day. If they do achieve a support level, look like they're going to turn back up, then we will move them up to our real-time watch list and watch them and maybe buy them. So again, we kind of expect, the market's been pretty volatile, so things are rapidly changing. So we expect our watch list to change quite a bit as things evolve. First one we had on our bullpen, and I did a due diligence video on it this week, and you'll see you can access this due diligence. It's currently under construction. It's unlisted now. You can access it. You can see what my thesis is on ALLE. And based on that due diligence, I'm going to take it off of our bullpen. And you can hear the reasons why I'm removing it in that due diligence video. We've got a number of these uranium stocks. I'm going to jump ahead just real quickly to thank Walter Solidago for alerting us to in our Discord to UROI. He notified us that he'd gotten an alert on UROI and said that might be worth looking at. And I commented back that, yeah, it'd probably be worth looking at the uranium stocks. So what you'll see is a number of our additions to our bullpen are these uranium stocks. Many of these we've traded before. So they're old friends. We made money on them before. And so we're going to see uranium got pushed down with the push down in energy in general. So I think it was a general downdraft, and uranium got pushed down with oil and natural gas, possibly unjustifiably. So the number of these that we're adding to our bullpen are these old favorite uranium stocks. So DNN is a uranium. UROY is a uranium. URG is a new uranium one. We haven't traded that one before, but again, that's another uranium we'll take a look at. They all look like they're coming down. They're still, going down. So I'd like to see them achieve a support. I'll show you the price levels, and we'll see if they come down to where we find them attractive to buy. Just checking the comments real quickly. So EXPI is another one, broke down through support. I am working on a due diligence video on them. It's under construction. It's not completed yet, so it's not available, but I am working on that. But it did break down through support, so we're going to remove it for now. Generac, we added back on the 19th. You'll also see later on, we're going to talk about hurricane stocks. You probably hear the Hurricane Ida's looking to hit Florida, probably the Panhandle or West Coast around Tampa area, somewhere on the West Coast. Sometimes, these there's a set of hurricane stocks that used to pop whenever a hurricane came in the Gulf, and we'll see Generac is one of them. We'll talk about some others when we get towards the end as well, but that's one of the trade ideas with the hurricane in the Gulf is sometimes these hurricane stocks pop at those times. So I'm on the East Coast, straight east from Orlando, so we'll get some wind and rain, and I don't expect it to be bad. We've been through plenty of hurricanes. I've been here a long time, so we've been through the 204 when we got hit. I think we got hit by like 4 of them here that year. So I've been through plenty over the years, so we'll be fine. We know where to run to too if it's coming our direction. So we're adding Generac. Another one that popped up in one of my queries is as being having a good upside, having a good risk reward profile right now is MP Materials. We've looked at MP Materials before. I really like it. It's rare earths. They have some defense contracts, etc. Again, I did a due diligence video back in July on them, so you can see that due diligence video. It'll talk about why we like MP Materials in more detail, and you'll see it looks like it might be coming down to that area of value where we'd consider buying it. So again, just a quick reminder, none of this is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. This is for educational purposes only, and hopefully some entertainment. I don't know how entertaining I am, but I try. So we talked about that NXE is a uranium we're adding. We were already long O, but there's still opportunities for you if you're interested. Another one that popped up we'll see in our Etf spreadsheet related to energy is ONG. This is an oil services Bull 2X ETF, and it got pushed down with the downward pressure from oil. And it looks like it may have a nice risk reward profile. We'll see in our ETF spreadsheet. It does appear to be pretty illiquid, have low volume, and be pretty choppy, as we'll see in the graph. So I'm a little questionable about that one. I want to watch it and see how it behaves. But I do have some concerns about the liquidity and the choppiness of that guy, and we'll see it in the chart. OXBR, I added it to the bullpen on the 18th. Removed it on the 23rd as it broke down through support. It's a reinsurance company out of the Cayman Islands. I am in the process of doing a due diligence video on that one as well. And I'll conclude those. But again, since it's broken down through support, we're gonna wait for it to achieve a support level. So. And URG, we talked about URG, UROY are both uraniums. Another one I'm throwing in here is VTI, which is the total market index. We've had that on and off the watch list over periods of time. Whenever the market declines significantly, we would dump a bunch of money in VTI at the 52-week low and just kind of let it sit there and let it travel with the market when the market finally recovers. I did put our sizable orders back into VTI on Friday, sitting at that 50 to just above that 52-week low. We saw the Dow broke its 52-week low. S&P and NASDAQ are close. So if we get a test of that 52-week low, it'll catch my orders in VTI. Now, if the markets go down farther, I'm okay with that. Again, this is a very long-term swing, long-term investment, source of cash going forward. So, and you can see why we like VTI versus VOO or VT as kind of that long-term investment index fund. So if you're dollar cost averaging into something, although one of these days I'll talk about I'm not a big fan of that. I'm more an advocate of active trading than passive trading, but if you are just if you want to passively go into an index fund, we prefer VTI. So, and thank you for your support, Ali. Yes, we'd love to have more Patreon members. That would be great. Yeah, we've tried to keep it very cheap. We want it to be a value. So, thank you for your support. So let's look at the stocks in our bullpen. Again, just another watch list I've got, and I spin through these at the end of the day. Just real easy to quickly spin through this bullpen watch list at the end of the day. And we said, we're going to take ALLE off based on due diligence. So I'm going to remove that one. Here's DNN. Again, we've traded DNN in the past. If I zoom this guy out, you'll see we like it around 91. Anywhere below $1 is pretty good. The bottom's 91. It's got some range up to 140, 150. So 50% ROI to that point, and it can go higher. You can see it can go up to 180 to 2, but the latest swings up to about 150. So again, about a 50% ROI. So EXPI, I believe we're going to remove. I'll take that guy off. You can see it broke down through support. So there was our price target. It's broken down. It's headed down. So we're going to take that guy off. Generac. Now, Generac, you can see it was downtrending pretty severely. It was heavily shorted. It does look like it's making a bounce. So that's, again, another reason we like Generac. They're a generator company. They also do a lot of electrical infrastructure type stuff, but their claim to fame is generators. Very popular. You'll see ads for them. I didn't think I needed to do a due diligence on Generac. So we can see it's got some decent upside, maybe $100 or so upside if it holds that 167 level. So we'll see if it holds. If not, we'll just wait for it to achieve a good support level, which obviously would give us an even better risk-reward profile. So MP Materials, again, we like the thesis behind rare earths, etc. They are profitable, or they have turned a profit. They do have defense contracts. That was my initial concern, is if they're not profitable, I would be concerned. The prior company that owned that mine went bankrupt, and they acquired it from the previous bankrupt company. So we can see it's kind of approaching where I'd like to see it. If it comes down here and stabilizes, yeah, we like MP Materials. It's relatively cheap. Anywhere around 30 is pretty good price for them. Here's one of the uranium stocks. You can see all the uranium stocks are going to look very similar. Just recently, they started downtrending. They're downtrending pretty steeply recently, so we really need to see them achieve some kind of support. Here's that oil services guy. You can see how choppy it is. Very few trades. It's very choppy. I'm a little concerned about that, the choppiness and the liquidity. But you can see it's at an attractive level. We'll see the risk reward profile in the Etf spreadsheet. Looks very attractive right now. UEC, that's another uranium guy. I have him in the list. I don't have him in the document. I'll have to look at it again. It's another uranium play. UEC, oh, that's why. So I'm going to take him off. See how far that is away from the price target. That's. I was looking at that, and I'll show you the list of how I got the list of uranium stocks quickly. But you can see that one's a little bit farther away from the support level than I'd like it. So that's why I don't have it in the document. URG is a little bit closer. UROY. So we can see UROY, that's the one that Walter alerted us to. And you can see it's pretty close to our price target. It's got some nice upside, so 210-ish to 330. So yeah, it's a nice risk reward profile as long as it stabilizes. So when it stabilizes and turns, we'll move it up to our real-time watch list. And then here's VTI. You can see how close it is to our price target. I thought I was going to catch it on Friday. Almost did. That's why I put our orders in. I thought maybe we'd get a market on close spike down, and I'd catch my orders while I was on the beach, but didn't quite catch. So we'll see. Just take a little bit of a downdraft, and those orders will catch. And again, we're looking at VTI for a very long-term reversal of the market. Whenever it bottoms, turns back up, then VTI is not a huge upside. It only goes up to about 244 was the all-time highs. So about 60 upside, so about 30%. So again, good long-term investment, but not something that's going to reap rewards real quickly. MOC, yeah, actually, I was surprised they tried to bounce it up at the end of the day. I kind of thought we'd get a flush, Walter, yeah, but it's not atypical. A lot of times the market on close is a reversal. I've heard discussions that it's the market makers rebalancing their books. But yeah, it's not atypical to see a reversal candle at the market on close. So now we'll look at our ETF spreadsheet. Our Patreon members have access to this as well as a folder that contains the spreadsheet, and it will contain other things for our Patreon members. We'll take a look at this in a second. Some changes you're going to see in the ETF spreadsheet is I talked about this probably last week. I added some things to the sectors sheet, and so I've also added many of them to the ETFs sheet. So I'm now showing the change, the daily change, the daily low, daily high, the trade time, and also I add an optionable column because I want to, again, part of my strategy is I want to have the opportunity to sell covered calls against a position, particularly if it's underwater or it's a long-term swing, long-term investment. Then I want to sell covered calls against it. So I want to know, is this ETF optionable? Because I'm going to give preference to those that are optionable versus those that are not for that reason. So I added that column, and then our end of day update automation that updates the support resistance and top and bottom prices now also updates this optionable column from our database. So we'll see those changes in a second. And then I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll review some of our other additions to our ETF spreadsheet. Okay, another one that Walter Solidago pointed out to us is NAIL. This is a home builders ETF, and so we've added that one to our spreadsheet, and we'll take a look at it. You've heard, home builders say they're in a recession, so this will give us an opportunity to see if there's an opportunity to play a reversal in the home building sector using NAIL. You'll also see some of the other related ETFs that we have. So thank you again, Walter, for pointing that out to us. And again, we've got that added to our ETF spreadsheet now going forward, so we can watch that. So a couple others for currencies, and I know Tanavir was asking about ways to long the dollar, long DXY, which is the dollar index. Now DXY is a basket of currencies, so it's not just the US dollar, but he was asking about a couple ways to long the dollar or DXY, and particularly in I think Webull and Robinhood. In Webull, you can't trade futures directly or forex directly. At least, not at all at this point, as far as I know. We don't use Robinhood, so I can't really respond to that. But how we would long the dollar would be using these ETFs. There's two of them we've got in our spreadsheet now, USDU or UUP. And UUP is one that Douglas PC pointed out to us in last week's live chat. So thank you again to Douglas PC for pointing out UUP is the up, the long in the dollar. And we'll also see the, I think UDN, I think, is the down in the dollar, but we'll see that in a second in the spreadsheet. So since I'm talking about the dollars, I'll jump directly to that one. And you guys, let me know. Right now, I've got the spreadsheet zoomed in pretty good. Hopefully, it's quite legible that way. If we want to zoom out to see different risk-reward profiles versus scrolling back and forth, I can do that. Let me just highlight some of these changes. So now we've got the daily change in the price, so that way I can see if it's going up or down. I thought that was helpful. Thank you for that super chat. I greatly appreciate it, Ali. Appreciate your support very much, Ali. Thank you. If there's anything you'd like me to look at specifically for you, just let me know. So again, there's the daily change. You can see red or green, up or down. So it's got conditional highlighting, the daily low, the daily high. And then also towards the end, I put the optionable column towards the end since that's not something I have to watch real time. But again, if I'm considering buying something or I want to compare some ETFs in the same category, I'm going to give preference. I personally am going to give preference to the one that's optionable. Can also see the last trade time. So, how current's the data, when was the last trade? I thought that was useful. And then this is how old's the data. So again, I'm relying more and more on this ETF spreadsheet to find opportunities, sector rotations, etc. Again, we've got the sector sheet, has similar data now. So again, I can use this to try to see sector rotation going on. Just again, a reminder that most of this data is from the Google Finance functions, and they are not truly real time. They could be delayed up to 20 minutes, but I find that's good enough to see, what the trends are. Is something, is there sector rotation trending? They're rotating in or out of energy or basic materials or technology, whatever. And then I could jump over here and see, various individual categories that might be of interest. So let me jump down to the US dollar. I'll also look at treasuries real quick because I know Tanavir was interested in that. So yeah, there's UUP and USDU are ETFs where you can long the dollar. You see their risk reward, it actually broke down through support. So I need to update the support level. So I'm going to zoom them out. I'll go to 90 and see if that's still legible. So he went to a new 52-week low. So just 2502. The ones in yellow, as I've noted previously, are not in my database. Therefore, they do not get automatically updated when I run my end of day update. So just that way you're aware that those do not get automatically updated. So again, since the dollar's hitting new highs, the risk reward on these guys is poor to long the dollar. Now, if you want to day trade them, momentum trade them, that's how you could long the dollar. Short the dollar, UDN. And again, it's broken down through support. So it shows a current pretty good risk reward. Support to resistance isn't very exciting. So again, and the 52 weeks not all that exciting. So I'm not particularly excited about trying to short the dollar. The range just isn't there. Again, if you want to day trade it, momentum trade it, that's fine. And these are ways that you could do that. So treasuries, we've talked about TLT, TMF. We can see they're both quite attractive right now. We talked about yesterday that it looks like they're hopefully establishing a bottom support, swinging back up. We see currently they've got a nice risk reward. It's not, super exciting either in terms of support to resistance. So this is a long-term trade, swing trade as well. And again, that's one of the reasons I sold the long dated covered calls against it is, again, it's a long-term swing. There's just not a short-term scalp highly profitable for a short-term scalp there. Day trade, again, different story. So I'll quickly spin through. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the different green levels. And I'll just highlight some that, are showing good risk reward across all the categories. So the green highlights is showing a risk reward over 2. I like to see, 3 greens if I can. So we see Lab U, but it's still a ways from support. That's why I'm not adding it to the watch list. Good morning, blind trader. Glad to see you here. Thank you for joining us. So again, LabVIEW doesn't look like it's quite come down to support. If we get further pressure in biotech, that might get interesting at some point. If you want, again, day trade, scalp, etc., biotech, the long is LabVIEW, the short's LabD. I know some people have done day trade, scalping trades on biotech using those. I wanted to talk about China briefly. Specula was asking about yen. We are already long yen. We were probably kind of early in longing yen. So let me bring yen up in Webull. So you see, we got in at 55.01. I was kind of early. Thought that the sentiment, it was oversold. The China sentiment had hit an extreme. I guess not. And actually, just an observation for you all that may help is I noticed even on days when the Hong Kong exchange was green, which would be positive, you would expect to be positive for yen. So I get up at 4 a.m. and if the Hong Kong exchange is green, that should be positive for Chinese tech stocks. But what I observed is there wasn't much movement. And then when the U.S. markets opened, if the NASDAQ was down, if U.S. tech stocks were down, then yen would actually get pushed down. So it seems to be trending more with U.S. tech stocks in general, and the NASDAQ right now than the Chinese market sentiment. We know the Chinese market sentiment has been extremely negative, but again, it seems to be reacting more lately to tech stocks in general. So we'll see if that divergence breaks and if China reopens, etc., get some positive news. They were allowing auditors to come into Hong Kong, I heard. So we'll see. And again, right now it seems like it's correlated with tech and the NASDAQ. So I think there's a good opportunity here. It's broken down. You could probably get in at a significantly lower level than what we got in. So I hope that helps. Again, if you wanted to short China, which we tend to prefer, but again, the sentiment got so extremely negative, we thought that the contrarian view was probably the best position at this time. But, typically we short China using Yang. There are a couple other options we have in our spreadsheet that you can see as well. So BDRY, we were watching, but again, it's ways away from support. EDC, we talked about the negative factors, tailwinds, or headwinds for emerging markets. So we're not really interested in that due to those factors. Here's ONG, the one we added to our watch list. So you can see it's very close to its support level. Got a very attractive risk-reward profile currently. It's not really that exciting from a support to resistance standpoint, but from a 52-week bottom to top, it's reasonably attractive. So that's why we added it to our bullpen. We'll keep an eye on that, and we may long ONG. Again, that's oil services. It's a bull 2x. So the downdraft in oil, which I wouldn't be surprised to see a jerk reversal in oil and natural gas. It was, they slammed them down so hard on Friday and late in the week. I wouldn't be surprised to see a jerk reversal. So financial sectors, etc. Gold, again, we saw all the dollar-denominated commodities got slammed pretty hard towards the end of the week. So if you're not long gold, silver, there may be opportunities in that. Gold's probably, lower than silver right now. So again, if you're looking for opportunities there, you can see the ETFs and what their risk-reward profiles are for gold and silver. We have many positions in gold and silver. We're long GLDI, collecting monthly dividends. We're long SLVO, collecting monthly dividends with that. And we'll talk about what's going on with those Credit Suisse ETNs in a minute too. TQQQ, you can see it's not quite down to its bottom yet. When that does, we may, go long TQQQ. That's the leveraged on the NASDAQ, long the NASDAQ. Here's cold. You can see it's, cold boil. USOI, we are long USOI, another monthly dividend paying on oil. We just collected the dividend on USOI. If it does pop up and become profitable before the reverse split that we're going to talk about in a minute, we'll probably sell USOI off and buy it back cheaper. I do like it pays like a 20% yield, so we really like the monthly dividend on that. We talked about TLT, TMF. I'm long TMF. I know Tanavir likes TLT. We talked about the VIX playing volatility. Again, I've got my order sitting, waiting for that bottom on SVXY. I just put it a penny or two above that support level, which would be on a spike on the VIX. Looked at the other foreign currency ETFs, and again, their risk-reward profile, even though the yen was really declining, again, they just don't have a great risk-reward profile. So from a support to resistance. So it just isn't that exciting. Even the euro one, we've longed ULE before, which is on the euro. But again, it's just 1.22, 1.5. It's just not that exciting. So I'd rather put my money somewhere where I've got the opportunity for more return. So if anyone has any further questions about ETFs, please put them in the chat. If you have questions after the live stream, just put them in the comments below the video in our Discord. We've got a number of channels you can ask questions in the Discord. There is an ETF channel. You can put it in the Beach Party channel, which is the public channel, etc. So somebody's asking any thoughts on Monday. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting. How's that? We looked at it yesterday, and I think I discussed what I kind of expect. I kind of expect a test of the June low. And again, that would probably trigger my buy in VTI. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't bounce off of that, because I think a lot of money's sitting there at that June low. So I think, a lot of people have buys sitting at that point too that are going to trigger. So a bounce would not be surprising at all. And then where we go from there really depends on overall market sentiment. We've got high interest rates, increasing interest rates, strong dollar, global issues, and we're in a recession. So we're in a bear market, so one should expect the overall trend to be down, right? So, but I would not be surprised if we got a bounce off of the June low, and I mentioned that yesterday, and we looked at the indexes, etc. So, since you guys are talking about the reverse split, let me jump forward to that. That's the news. These Credit Suisse ETNs, USOI, GLDI, SOBO, they all announced they're going to do a 1-for-20 reverse split on the 27th. So I guess that's Tuesday. They typically do that when their price gets low or the liquidity if they want more shares to sell. But a lot of times if their price drops below like $5 or $10, they want to kick it back up so that the fund managers can buy them. They typically can't buy what's considered a penny stock if it drops below like $5. So then they tend to reverse split them to get them back up again. So I don't expect their dividend yields to change. So I would expect, since the number of shares goes down, the payment per share, I would expect to go up. We'll see. But again, just be aware that they are going to reverse split on the 27th. So I can see if these guys are optionable. I'm holding them in a Fidelity account where I can't sell options anyway. Because again, I'm just holding them long term. See, they're not optionable anyway. So that the covered call factor isn't really a consideration. So just so you're aware, and there's the link to the article that talks about the reverse split on the 27th. So, and thank you for prompting the reminder to subscribe, Spacula, and others appreciate it. I tend to forget to remind people to like and subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please hit the notify bell icon. Again, we're trying to release more frequent videos, due diligence videos. As you'll see, we've got our packaging up our previous strategies. So that's one of the things I was going to talk about next. For our shopping list, let me grab a drink a sec. So again, we've been talking about the concept of a shopping list for a long time, and again, I recommend you always have your shopping list. And the concept is, the stocks that you always want to buy, and you're just waiting for them to get to a good level, get cheap enough that makes them attractive, and as the market's declining, some of those shopping list stocks may become attractive. Now, our caveat to that recently is with all the factors with rising interest rates, strong dollar, etc., is make sure you evaluate the stocks in your shopping list to make sure that they're going to be good in a rising interest rate environment, an environment with a strong dollar, in a recession. So we have a number of videos. Some are currently unlisted, but again, the links are in this Google document. You can access them and watch them. And again, these are previous strategies we've discussed about how to make money when interest rates rise, how to make money trading with a strong dollar, recession proofing. I'm probably going to package this one up soon as a standalone video with just our strategies for how to make money trading with a strong dollar. I'll release that as an independent as well. So I hope these all help. Please let me know if you find these standalone strategy videos helpful. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see, again, in the comments, in our Discord, etc. What types of videos would you all like to see? We try to accommodate as best we can. Ali's asking, is there more Fed talk this week? Yes, and we looked at the calendar yesterday in investing.com. You'll see now that they come out of their Fed decision, the Fed presidents will be talking, and I believe Powell talks on either Monday or Tuesday. But again, I expect just more of the same. I expect very hawkish, very aggressive. They want people to understand that they need to kill inflation. They're willing to cause pain to the economy. Recession is not really a major concern of theirs. It's not part of their mandate. So that I expect that, again, my opinion, not financial advice, but that's my opinion, is we're going to keep hearing more of the same hawkish talk until things change. So we talked about uranium as a trade idea. Just a real quick, I'll show you how I got to there. Is if you go to FinViz and the screeners, you can select uranium as an industry, or as I showed yesterday, we were looking at the group sector, the industries under the group sector, and I could show that real quickly too. If I just go to groups, select industry, and then I just do a find on uranium. And this is exactly what I did when Walter pointed it out, is said, okay, what's going on? Yep, it was down big. You click on it and you instantly get to this uranium screener. And then you can scroll very quickly through the charts. So we could see, okay, DNN looked pretty good. That one's a little high. LEU, we've traded before, looked a little high. This was a new one. See how it's sitting at that support level. That's why that got attractive. So we added it to the database. URG looks attractive. It's sitting near a support. This guy looks like he's sitting on a support, but it looks like he's got more downside. So again, if I've got to pick a couple, and same thing with UUUU. We've traded that one before, but it looks like it's a little bit higher. And then you see UROY, it looks like it's pretty close to that support level. So again, just a real easy way to quickly see, okay, within a particular category, industry, etc., which ones look attractive. Then you can right click on their individual and see their individual profiles in FinViz. Just really easy to use. So I hope that helps as well. And again, I put that link, and then all I did was copy out that screener link and put it in the notes. So Walter says, yeah, 2 FOMC members talking Monday and Powell on Tuesday. Yeah, like I said, they're all going to be out talking now. Now that they've made their decision, and they'll be essentially talking their book, reinforcing their decision. There'll be some a little dissension. We know some of them are more hawkish than others, and some are a little more dovish. Bullard tends to be the far end hawk, and I can't remember who the far end dove is offhand. But this, I don't expect the spread to be significant, and I don't expect anything new. So again, my opinion. But so we talked about hurricane stocks. Generac is one we talked about. Generators. That's in our bullpen. Pola is another one. We've had Pola since last hurricane season. It used to pop up when we were in a more conducive, I call it penny stock environment, or whatever you want to call it. But it had a tendency to pop up on when a hurricane was coming as well. It was also used to be like a drywall. Stanley Steamer, I think, used to be one. People got flooded. I didn't look at Stanley Steamer. There also used to be a drywall company. Also, some of your plywood type, Home Depot, Lowe's, etc., might see some activity because people go rush on them and buy plywood. Also, I heard Costco. There runs on Costco in Tampa and I think Orlando. They were out of bottled water, out of bottled water already. So Yeah, you might see some activity on Monday around the hurricane stocks. So if anybody else knows of some other specific ones, you throw them in the comments or in the Discord, etc. So, okay. Also, Tanvir asked yesterday about how to buy I-bonds, and I mentioned the treasurydirect.gov site. And so what I've also done, here's the links in the notes, so you can access the link here. I also put it under the reference link category on our homepage. Homepage is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So under the links, we've got all our trading platforms, social media sites, trading tools. You can find an invite to our Discord. Again, our Discord's free to join. We encourage and welcome everyone to join in the discussions. We've got traders helping traders be successful in their trading careers. That's our objective of all of this. That's why we're here. So, and again, under the business tools, other servers I hang out in occasionally, and then now under reference links, I added the link directly to I-bonds. So now you can just click on that, and it explains how they work, and then you can buy directly through that site. So, and you'll see there's limitations, so much you can buy through their site, so much then you have to mail in. It all has to go directly through their site. You can't go through any broker or any other means. You have to go directly through their site. So I hope that helps. Just checking to see if anybody else got any comments or questions. Otherwise, I want to wrap up quickly. Another question is we were having some discussions in our Discord recently just about, challenges, emotional challenges. The market's it's tough. It's been a tough market this year. It's been up and down. It's choppy. It's been bearish. So you have to have a bearish mindset. Flip the charts, flip your mindset. There's plenty of ways to make money in any kind of market. That's part of the thesis that we try to share and hopefully educate and teach people that you can make money in any market. It's just a matter of having the right mindset, right focus, etc., and finding it. But the discussion, I was thinking based on that discussion is, should we have a channel in our Discord, something like trading psychology or something along that concept where we can talk about, emotional challenges, mindset challenges. How do you deal with when you're not in the right mindset to be trading? Maybe you should step away, take a break, go to the beach. Think about it. Let me know in the comments below, in our Discord and our Facebook group, etc. If you guys have a good name for a channel like that, if you think it would be of additional benefit or not. I do have some references. There's Mighty Soldiers Trading is doing a series with, and I'll slaughter her name, Agnesika or something like that. You'll see it on his channel, and it's more about mentoring and mindset oriented. And I could approach her and see if she could provide us with some content in a channel, etc. If you guys are interested in that, there's also some other guys and blogs that I used to like, and they used to do some videos more on the mental aspects of trading. So let me know what you think. If that would be of additional benefit, then that's something we can do. So otherwise, if there aren't any other immediate questions or anything you guys want to have me look at right now, you can always again post these questions in the comments below, in the Discord, in our Facebook group. Again, Discord's free to join. We hope you'll join us there. And again, if you prefer our Facebook group, that's fine too. You can always also contact us via any of our social media sites as well. And they're all in the links on our homepage. So good luck. Again, let us know anything further we can do to help you succeed in your trading career. And good luck and have a great trading week.